Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classic Cinematics, and I'm joined as always by my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Bow weep, grotto weep, nitty bong. The universal greeting.
Look.
A for effort.
Today, we're going to be talking about Transformers the movie, man, and this is a big picture. This came out in 1986 and ruined a lot of childhoods, man.
Yes, it did.
But there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes on behind the scenes of this film as well. And it's still an entertaining watch, man, between the characters, the music, and just the animation, man, which was elevated a little bit to make this. But in the story of this film, the heroic Autobots defend their homeworld, Cybertron, from the evil Decepticons. But because they're so busy fighting each other, they don't notice an even bigger threat that's looming in the horizon, man. Pretty much, it goes from there, man. This film is crazy, though, like story-wise. It marks a pivot in the series, man, because crazily enough, this thing was made to sell toys, man.
It was Hasbro's ploy to sell the new wave of Transformer toys. So this movie actually serves as the bridge from the end of season 2 to the beginning of season 3. You
and
know
it
what I mean?
Sucks because, I don't see why they couldn't continue making some of the bigger, more important Transformers still, and still sell some of these new characters. So because of that, in the film itself, we get a lot of death, bro.
A lot of death
from
They wipe out almost every Gen 1 Autobot, Decepticon, everything, or they alter them in some kind of a way.
It's crazy because the Autobots they're making a run to they get a sneak attack. They get a sneak attack on them from the Decepticon. They're making a run to Earth, but in doing that, Decepticons rush them, and immediately, bro, they dudes is dropping like flies. As a kid, I'm just like
7 minutes in, we lost Ironhide, the ambulance, Brawn, and Wheeljack.
Man, Ironhide hit me almost as hard as Prime, bro. It was just, I was just, you just looking at him, you just looking at these circuits go dark.
Yeah.
So to speak, man. So I'm watching this, my jaws drop. Like, this is definitely one. I got my mom to take me to the movies. We actually saw this twice in the movies, me and my brother, which helped out because the first time we was a little late. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to parents who take their kids to the movies late. You take them, but try to get them on time. So when I came in, it was right at the part where Hot Rod and Daniel was on a little skateboard. So I missed the Unicron thread. I didn't even see that.
Didn't even know what was going on
until later, man.
And that's so important. Like the way this film starts, where you just got Unicron just slowly just cruising through space and just rolls right up on a planet of that's inhabited with like chill robots. It looks like they're just like a
happy civilization.
They just chilling, walking through what looks like some kind of mall atmosphere, and he just eats them. And it's wild too because the song in the background kind of sounds real similar to Drago's song in Rocky 4. And it's because the dude who did the score actually did the score for Rocky 4.
You know what's crazy about that? We probably gonna bring up Unicron one day in our villains list.
Yeah.
Cause dude, he was like the concept of a planet that eats other planets, That's crazy.
And I think
it was nuts.
Not for nothing, I think that's where they loosely got the idea from The Fifth Element. Because that was the same thing, in a sense.
Yeah.
So,
but it makes sense because knowing that he's also a mechanical thing, like where does he get his fuel from? So that makes sense that he has to devour other planets to keep himself going and stuff. So that's a lot of cool aspects, man, with the story.
But then like you were saying, we got that going on, but all of the Decepticons and Autobots, they're unaware of this, so they're knee deep in their own war. You know what I'm saying? Still just fighting for Cybertron, fighting for Earth, and fighting to overthrow each other. And it looks like in the first about 15 minutes, the Decepticons are getting the edge.
Yeah, that's the crazy part.
They taking the Autobots out like it's the thing to do.
That's another vital thing to this movie. This seems like the ultimate Decepticon Autobot battle, man. The whole series, cartoons, we've been seeing them having skirmishes over the years, and now this has come to a head, and we get one of the badass moments that I love. Autobot cities under siege, Decepticons, they got the Devastator, they got up in there. They got
always
all the
Devastator.
numbers.
Devastator is awesome because he was the first one
Yeah.
in the series that where the Constructicons formed together to make him. You know, you got the Dinobots. The Dinobots have a real meety role in this.
Yeah,
you know?
so Autobots are under sneak attack. You know, their ships crash landing. The base is under attack. They're outnumbered, and it's crazy because it is one of the darkest moments, yo.
Yes.
But one of my favorite parts is when fucking Prime, when that ship lands, and
You
he
got
sees the
the
city,
touch.
yo. And my man's like transform and roll out, yo. And he gets a truck, and yo, it's one of my favorite sequences in this, especially because it happens so far in the beginning. And the
Yes.
music's pumping. We'll get to the music later.
Yes.
But my man comes into the joint. He's in truck mode, jumps in the air, transforms. We don't know where the trailer goes. We never know where the trailer goes. That joint just disappears. And yo, my man's still in the air, does a backflip, starts gunning Decepticons down. I don't know if them dudes died, because some of them Insecticons, bro, they got transformed later.
Yeah.
But a lot of dudes, man, he was
taking them out.
And he hits the ground, he's like pow, 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 with that little blaster, yo. He's
man, I love it because like the way they intro him is the same
crazy.
as what you get from like a professional wrestler. It's like watching Hulk Hogan come out. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you get that feel good moment, and then then him and Megatron. We've seen them battle in the series many times,
a lot of times,
but it was never like this. Like they were really going for each other. They're both battle damage. Megatron
don't he say
throws
it though? Don't he say only one of us is going to come out of this? Yo, Prime has got the Prime bars in this movie. The quotables is crazy. He's talking the most shit, yo. Like, oh my god.
But then it's messed up because Prime is besting Megatron, and Megatron deceives him. And the little gun hidden, and Hot Rod comes to interfere. He's like, "No, Prime," and then the messes it all up.
Prime says something to him. It's like, "You with that who shows no mercy." Like something
now you're asking for it. Yeah.
Yo, basically he called Megatron a bitch. Yo,
pretty much. Yes, in cartoon language, he did.
It's amazing, bro. It's great.
But
man.
then what I love after that, of course, we see Prime's demise, which that's rough. Yeah, that's rough to watch as a child. It's rough to watch as an adult. Which what I like about this story, it carries a heavy emotional compass. So all this chaos, death, and destruction that we're seeing, it's felt, it's heartfelt. We're watching our favorite characters just die. But what I like about it too is then they really emphasize the importance of the Matrix, which is like their life spark and how
it's almost like the force for the Autobots.
Yes, and it's like it's their reason for being like the way that they are, just good natured and keeping the leader has to keep the Matrix safe, and then ultimately protect the universe with it. But we're watching as now no one really knows what's going to happen. Prime is gone, and so just Ultra Magnus just steps up because he's just next in line. But he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready for it.
Even the Decepticon side, this is one of my favorite parts because Megatron's he's about to die. Like that took so much out of him. So Autobots don't know who's going to be the leader. The Decepticons don't know who the leader. The funny part of the Decepticons, since they're Decepticons, they like, yo, we gonna fight for this, yo. And it's crazy. We see a scene, yo, they throw Megatron out of Astro Train. So here's the crazy part. Scientists that me knows, like, once an object in motion stays in motion in space. So Astro Train says, I got low fuel. And I'm like, but you're already in motion. Just ride it out. Like you don't need no more thrust. You already going at your top speed. But then, and the crazy part is, Starscream, whose role, if you know the series, is a scientist. And he knows this. And he still throws Megatron out the damn thing
here's the thing.
to get rid of weight.
Since we're getting scientific too, he says we got to get rid of some dead weight because it's slowing us down. Yeah. But in space, everything is weightless. Yeah. So come on now. But he capitalizes his opportunity to throw Megatron out. He's been trying to walk in Megatron's shoes since the beginning of the cartoon series.
I love Starscream as a character.
He's awesome. But yeah, then they they in classic Decepticon fashion, they get the wrecking on Astro Train. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like my man tries to the Constructicons turn into Devastator and stuff, and it was wild because he causes so much havoc for the Autobots, but in this scene, all it took was Rumble and the other guy to bang the ground, and he collapsed.
It was so goofy, man. It's goofy, man. But then as Megatron is basically supposedly floating out to oblivion, that's when we meet Unicron personally, we get a touch of what it is a little bit. And it's crazy. This is one of my favorite sequences too, how they reform Megatron. He rebuilds him. And it's not just Megatron. They threw out the Decepticons and a couple other. I think the spaceships. It's like Thundercracker.
Thundercracker. Yeah.
And I forgot what the other.
It was the
called.
wasp, the little wasp Insecticon.
Yeah. And then so Megatron gets turned into Galvatron, and then
they turn into Scourge and Cyclonus.
And the Sweeps, which is Scourge's or Cyclonus's Armada. You know, so it's crazy. So he gets a second chance at life, and he gets the task of from Unicron to go and become the infiltrator to guide him toward Cybertron and Earth.
One thing I love about that scene is Megatron is still Megatron. Like Unicron is like, yeah, I summoned you, and Megatron all on his deathbed is like, no one summons me.
And then he's like, he hits him with the blast. He's like, ah! Yo, I love it's great. Like, this thing reminds me of theater in a way. It's just how I would expect something to go down. Except it's a goofy cartoon, but it still at its core has those melodramatic, theatrical moments.
Of course, once he makes Galvatron, Unicron now makes, he tells Galvatron, objective number one is you got to get the Matrix, because that is the only thing that can take me out. And at the same time, with him being now Galvatron, he's like, yeah, okay, cool. But in his mind, he's thinking, I get the Matrix, I can get out from underneath your thumb. You know what I'm saying? But the funny thing is
Matrix ain't gonna work for him.
But before he even goes to look for the Matrix, he runs back up on Starscream, who's like king for a day. He's having this little ceremony, and Galvatron runs up. He's like, oh yeah,
and it blows him. All that's left is his feet, man, and the ground.
And it's cool because
dust.
Like he's still kind of Megatron-esque in a way, because Megatron would transform into the hand cannon, whereas Galvatron turns into like a cannon, like one that would be on a battlefield.
So ultimately, Galvatron becomes Unicron's Silver Surfer in effect. Yeah. He's guiding him to the planet so he can exploit, and it comes to a head, man. Then it turns into a thing where they've got to, kind of unite against this common threat, which is Unicron. They don't get rid of Unicron, none of them are going to be there, man. And that's pretty much.
And it's cool though, because on the flip side, then we're still seeing the Autobots just like really. They're just going through it, you know what I'm saying? Ultra Magnus is failing as a leader, and then you got this little side story with Hot Rod and Cup. And they're just kind of cruising through space trying to get back to the other Autobots.
Those are some of the cooler moments, man. I feel like, and we get to learn some of these characters in this film. I think we could probably get into that a little bit, because the characters are dope, man. We got the original, core of Prime, the ultimate good, Megatron, the ultimate evil. But then you got Hot Rod, who's kind of like a Luke Skywalker in this thing in a little bit. We don't know it immediately, but he's destined to become the new leader, and I love that part, like you said, when the attack happens and the Autobots got to escape after the fight and whatever. So after the big fight and the Prime dies, they kind of they're out there. They at the moon base, and that's when Megatron swoops in. When both sides are in disarray, where he's got the least resistance, crunches the moon, and that scatters the Autobot forces. So one of my favorite moments is Hot Rod and Cup. They get they crash and land on this water planet, bro.
Water planet, with the Sharkticons and that four-headed thing.
That sequence, man, where they're underwater and Cup is all broken up. And Hot Rod has to fight his way out, and the music, bro. That joint, man. That's the one where it's got nothing's gonna stand in that way. Yo, dog, this is happening. Every time I watch this movie, I'm in the zone. I'm bobbing my head. Like, I'm getting the chills because it hits. It's so cool, man.
And it's cool so because of Hot Rod and Cup being dislodged from everyone else. They're the ones who are actually giving us exposure to these other planets, because then after the water planet, they go to the junk planet. That's where like Retgar,
Springer, RC, and Magnus, they go there and they run into Retgar.
And then Hot Rod and them double back and they show up there, right?
Yeah. So Springer feels to me like a second in command kind of guy. He's like their Commander Riker. If we're looking at the hierarchy of this stuff, so he's all right as an underboss. You know what I'm saying? And Magnus takes over the Autobot leadership. Yeah. He's a cool guy. I feel bad for him, but I never really liked him, right? Because he didn't. I feel like when it came down for him to step up and do something, he relied on the Matrix too much without even trying to do anything else.
He just want to open it up. Like, come on, you said you would light our darkest days.
This is my catch-all. He ain't even bust a shot, bro, when he gets taken out, man.
I liked RC. I thought it was cool for them to bring in a female character, and they said that the writer actually, there was heavy blowback with that because of the original creators and Hansborough said that this is a toy line made specifically for little dudes, so they didn't want to have female characters and stuff. And RC has a prominent role. And
but also it's nutty if you think about the times of that. Like, ultimately, your goal is to sell toys. Like, little girls want to see themselves in this, and it's crazy because I don't know. I haven't kept up with the series in the future, but RC is the only. Maybe I think the movies have different characters, but RC is the only one that's like a female, gendered character, man. Exactly. So that's kind of crazy, bro.
And it's wild too because then, like you say, we get Cup, who's just like the old school, like he's telling all these war stories. He's like that. He's just that OG, and he wears it well. And it's wild that him and Hot Rod are paired together because you get the old and the new kind of situation. Like you know what I'm saying? And the new up and comer. You know what I'm saying?
It's like the young upcomer and his mentor kind of deal.
Yeah, and then it's wild because we were talking about it earlier. Hot Rod is voiced over by Judd Nelson, which I didn't even realize that until I was looking at the credit list. To do this show.
This might have been where he peaked post Breakfast Club, bro. Yeah, like this might be his most memorable role after Breakfast Club.
And then also, Leonard Nimoy is the voice of Galvatron.
Yeah, I love that.
So that was cool. Like how they switch over from,
And they got Orson Welles to do Unicron. Apparently, I heard that was a problem. They said his voice was so weak. Yeah. That's why they had to really do a lot on the digital end to upgrade how he sounded.
Scatman Jones is Jazz, and this was actually Orson Welles. Scatman Crothers. Yeah, my bad. But they said that this was Scatman and Orson Welles' last film that they recorded.
Damn, that's crazy.
It's wild, man.
Yeah. Let me see. Anybody else stands out? I love what we get from Grimlock in here too, man. He's like the OG, but Dinobots ain't gonna die, bro. They you know what I'm saying? Like
they built for it tough.
They're probably the only ones. Think about it. In the second half of the film, they're the only ones from the OG that are still around. Think about that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
And you know what? Shout out Frank Welker, man. He voices so many people, dude. He voiced Wheelie, Megatron, Soundwave, Frenzy, Rumble, and Junkacon. So I was like, damn, that's a lot of labor, man.
There's some pretty cool voice acting in this, man. Yeah. But like I said, man, it's kind of sad too that it is this transition under a guard, and like I got to look at the official thing because there's a lot of those G1 characters. That's how they separate the series. Generation 1 and the Gen G2 is post Transformers the movie characters. But there's a lot of them die on screen, but then a lot of them you just never see them again when the newer series comes out, man. And it's so crazy. Like the Prime's death was so impactful on us as kids. They had to come back later after this movie premiered and had its run and make on the TV series. They brought the return of Optimus Prime.
They had to
because it was such a
there was heavy blowback. A lot of parents were writing in and a lot of just fans across the board. But it was cool though because with this, you also get the transition from Hot Rod to Rodimus Prime. You know what I'm saying? When he gets the Matrix, opens it up, and you watch him turn from like a young bot into a grown ass man bot right in front of you, and then he I don't know.
It's cool, but it was weird. Think about that. You're dropping a Hot Rod and a Rodimus Prime toy at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. And whereas the car or the automobile is significantly different too, because Rodimus Prime is almost
like an RV, bro.
Rodimus was a crossover. Yeah,
because Hot Rod was like a futuristic. He had the pinstripes and the flames, a futuristic with the pipes. Hot Rod, and then like you said, and then my man goes to a RV, but still got like a hot rod front. Like,
it's
imagine
really
an RV like a Winnebago, but the front was like a Mustang.
And it got big exhaust pipes going through it.
It's great, man. The animation is pretty cool on this too. I think it got bumped up a notch for this film. It seemed like something they would do in that era. Like I remember watching DuckTales the movie, and it has like an extra gloss on it compared to watching a TV show, and I think the same thing kind of happens here. With this, there's some of the sequences are bumped up in a big way, you know.
One of my coolest, my favorite scenes, one of the coolest scenes on here is when Megatron transforms into Galvatron. Like they get all like digitized and everything. I really like the way that looks, and it's very vibrant. You know what I'm saying? It has, like you said, it's got this glow to it. One thing that I did notice though is I was reading that they were having problems with coming up with a finalized color for Hot Rod. So there are points when he looks like he's red and magenta, and then other points in the movie where he's like totally red and yellow. So it's tripped out because like like earlier in the film you can see that burgundy.
I always attribute that to like lighting things or like issues or something. You know?
But it was a real thing, man.
But it's crazy though because the film also expands on Transformer lore. Like when we meet the what do they call the Quinticons, the face dudes, man.
Yes,
that's kind of crazy. Like it's just showing us that it's more out there than just the Autobots and Decepticons with the robot aspects of it, man.
And I really like I said, I like Retgar and his
Junkions,
the Junkions, because I mean it's like pretty much like they'd be riding. One would be riding the motorcycle, they get knocked off, and then they switch. The one who falls turns into the bike, and then the bike turns into the one. Then they jump right back on.
Reminds me of Max Headroom in a way. But speaking of riding, one of my favorite shots in this damn film is when Galvatron comes back. On the junk planet when he rolls up, and he's in the ship, and he's inside. I don't know if that's Scourge or Swoop, but imagine that he's riding his boy. He's flying him. He's inside like.
Then when he jumps out, he's just as big as the ship.
Like that, dog. It's crazy as hell, bro. Like imagine that we about to go ride on these fools, but I'm gonna need you to transform into a ship so I can ride. So I can ride you.
Save my energy. You know what I'm saying? For when shit really goes down.
And they got a ship. It's so crazy, bro. And they got their own ship already, so like they still flying up. Like it's amazing.
And
man.
it is
it's goofy,
another
bro.
part I really like is when we actually see Unicron transform from the planet into this big massive space creature.
That's amazing.
My man got gargoyle wings and a battle helmet with horns on it. Looks like a space Viking.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite designs, man. And then when he digs into that the moon base. I think when no,
he starts attacking
Cybertron. Into Cybertron. He grabs a chunk, and I'm like,
because this is when Galvatron comes with the Matrix, and he's like, I'm gonna take you out now. And he was like, man, you know what? You bucking the system too much. I'm fucking Cybertron
up. I'm like, that's a few blocks right there.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
He just grabs and grips it up, man. But also one of the aspects of him that, like I said, I think part of it is it's messed up that he is what he is. But I don't even know who built him, but. Yeah. When we see later on and he starts sucking in the robots and we see the insides and it's like a factory in there that's just processing whatever he consumes to give him energy to keep him going. Like it's amazing, man.
It's wild, yeah.
It's some cool imaginary stuff going on with this, man.
Absolutely. And then it's all held together by one of the coolest animated soundtracks ever.
God, bro.
I mean,
this is one of the best soundtracks on a movie. Period, bro.
Period. Animated or not. And
this might be a top 5 for me.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And then the song The Touch, dog. It's who sings it? Stan Bush's song. It's wild because this song was actually written. It was supposed to be displayed in Cobra, the Sylvester Stallone joint.
What?
It was written for that.
That would be weird.
I know. That's how I was thinking. And then, speaking of weird, it reemerges in Mark Wahlberg's Boogie Nights.
Yeah, this dude got bopped, Joe. Even from the very beginning, like when the film opens up and we see Unicron attack that first planet, the way to transform. That joke going. So one of my other favorites is when they board the ship, the instruments of destruction. Instruments of destruction.
That sounds like some Alice Cooper nonsense. Yes. And the Decepticons are just putting in work, dog. And then you got the Dare song. I mean, that just feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Man, this is amazing.
There's so
many moments of.
Yes.
And they even got some. What's some dude's name? Was it Devo? Dare to be stupid.
Yes. Dare to be.
What was their name? I can't remember.
I know there was one band on there. Their actual name was called Kick Axe, But the Transformer people that wrote the movie, they said that sounds a little too violent, so they changed their name.
I think that's your Weird Al, yo, Dare to Be Stupid.
The band Kick-Axe, they sing the song Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way and Hunger. But the writers of Transformers thought that name just wasn't right, so they credited them as Spectre General.
Yeah, that is, that's crazy,
right?
But that is Dare to Be Stupid, Weird Al.
Weird Al,
yeah, he does
look
that
at
one,
that.
man. Yeah, Kick-Axe, Nothing's Gonna Stand Our Way. NRG did Instruments of Destruction. Vince DiCola did The Death of Optimus Prime. I don't think that's a vocal. That's more of an instrumental joint. But I know it's like that was creepy.
Yeah, see, look, and Stan Bush did the Touch and Dare.
And Lion did the did the theme, the intro.
Okay.
Yeah. The Touch and Dare was
those are like the
crazy,
two
man.
heaviest hitting joints on there, man.
Bro. But my joint is Nothing's Gonna Stand on My Way.
Yeah.
And the instruments, bro. I wig out when them joints come
Yeah,
on.
man.
It's just amazing, man. But yeah, man, the impact of this film was great. They did pretty good for themselves, man. The movie
budget wise, it pretty much broke even. Mm-hmm. You know, in the States anyways. Because it says that the budget was $5 to $6 million, and in the United States, North America, it grossed 2.6 to 5.8 million. So they pretty much almost broke even. But like I said, this film,
this video is going crazy.
The video, I mean, it has a large cult following. Mm-hmm. But when the time this movie was made, it wasn't made to make a box office impact. It was made to introduce the new wave Transformers and to sell toys. Which the list of toys that came out after this movie was presented, I mean, it was a changing of the guard in every aspect, you know what I'm saying? Because there was an Autobot in the Decepticon version of almost every toy, like the Tripticon or the Triple Changers. Mm-hmm. There was where you had Devastator. Now there was also Menacer. There was also another. There was like 3 different.
Yeah, you had the Autobot City, the Decepticon City.
Yes.
And you think about I forgot the Autobot version, but there was that shuttle dude that was big, and then you had Tripticon, which was like that dinosaur looking, and they were both kind of competing. Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it was wild. So I mean, for that. You know, for that purpose, I mean, they made their money hand over feet. And like I said, now there's a very large cult following. They have conventions solely wrapped around this movie alone. They'll show the movie. They'll have, you know, some of the actors, actresses that are still alive. Well, the only actress is Susan Blue. I think that played RC. What's her name? Susan Blue. But
the franchise itself is, like you said, that cult following. Peter Cullen has just a legend of voice acting in general. He did Predator. You know, a lot of just well-known characters, man. You know, in the animation realm, Transformers. I think he did some G.I. Joe work as well. Yeah, he's just that dude. But this thing, like you said, it's inspired so much of our pop culture. You know,
absolutely. And I mean, and also, you know, it gave the future writers and promotion companies and stuff the confidence to continue to change. I mean, look what came out of this. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Beast Wars, then you got the War for Cybertron, the guff to make a live action Transformer movie. I mean, this movie paved the way for all of those things to happen because it shows that, you know, pretty much anything is possible, and it brings the fans out.
And low key, this series introduced us to anime style art. Like these, even though they're American series, G.I. Joe and Transformers are anime, man. These were Japanese production studios doing this, man. And they were bringing a lot of those techniques, introducing those to audiences back then, man.
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
I mean, shit, even the toys were Asian overseas. They were called, I think, Diacons or Diaclones or something like that.
Yeah, rebranded into, you know, Transformers. It's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, I think we can wrap up on this, man. You know, this is a great thing, man. Check it out. You haven't seen it, man. Watch it again, dude.
Yes.
You know, it's crazy that it's not streaming regularly, but I think Transformers the series is streaming on Tubi, if I'm correct.
Yes, the Gen 1.
Yeah, so you can watch, you know, the old episodes on there. Mm-hmm. The movie pops up here and there in places, but it's just a good fun time. Man.
High rewatchability rate. You know what you're gonna get. You know what you're getting into. I mean, like I said, it has a strong emotional compass. It's drawn well. It's written good enough. I mean, the story's easy to follow, and it's what, 85 minutes. That's, that's standard movie length for for any feature film. So hey, it's good, man. I have no negative comments about this one.
Yeah, folks, man. So I think that's it, man. Make sure you subscribe, like the channel, turn on notifications, man. You can catch us at Classic Cinematics on Instagram, man. You can catch me at Monkey Blood on Instagram and Twitter.